Alright guys, we're still playing through the campaign. We open up Theros, but before, jumping ahead and getting too far ahead of ourselves and playing against more powerful decks, let's go back to Innistrad, because, there are some cards in there that can potentially help us out. And instead of going and fighting these guys, we're going to go and explore Innistrad. They're going to give us some random encounters with some other random decks, and we should be able to beat them pretty easily and just collect some cards. This is not the best. If this were an Advocate of the Beast, I might take this. Um, I might take it anyway. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. We have to pull another land, and sometimes you get land screwed here. I know I can be really aggressive, but I also don't have any tricks in here, so we're just going to take another hand. Ooh, Charmbreaker Devils. I don't love this, but we're taking it because of the Charmbreaker Devils. If I get an instant or sorcery, you all can see how this card performs, and then you'll just see how amazing it is. Now, we have no early threats, and I really don't like that. But that's with a limited deck. This is a brand new deck. As your deck evolves, you'll have more and more threats and better cards. That just lets him sacrifice his own creature and draw a card. Yep, that's what that does. I think this Mad Science deck is the deck that's centered around him decking himself. If he gets himself down to 0 cards, he'll win. And you can see that he only has 30 cards in his deck there. Another copy. Yeah. Okay. So what's going to happen is we'll get this Charmbreaker Devils out, and then we'll just prey upon every single turn and remove every creature that he ever puts into play for the rest of the game. So he'll potentially have no way of being able to beat us. But that's why we're back in Innistrad. We're trying to collect another one of these guys. If I get another one of these guys, this deck is going to get significantly more powerful. What does this guy say? If he would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Yeah. Usually if you draw a card, since this is the only thing we can cast, that's what we're doing. And notice, again, that's why this guy is not that good. Because if we have nothing out, he takes until turn 7. And on turn 7, I'd rather play this guy. On turn 6, I'd rather play this guy. So if this guy doesn't play on turn 5, I'm not happy with him. Now he doesn't swing in because I can block his stuff. Alright. Now, because I know what his deck's going to do, these are his 2 major kind of kill cards, if you will. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to first swing in and see if he'll block with one of those cards. And he probably won't. Oh, he blocks both of them. Cool. So I'm going to deal 3 damage to it, and then I'm going to deal 1 damage to the other. Because he's blocking with 2/2/2s, I can only deal 3 damage because my creature only has a power of 3. So, hitting that. And then when my creature dies, I'm going to deal 3 damage to target creature. And that'll kill his other kill card. So that's cool, I'm happy with it. Now I get to play my Charmbreaker Devils. And every turn from here on out, I'm either going to be playing a Prey Upon or something else in my deck. Okay, it's returning a card at random from my graveyard to my hand, but there was no instants or sorceries in there. So, yeah, it didn't return anything. So I'm going to go ahead and Prey Upon. And I'm going to get rid of this guy over here because this is his, um, main win condition. Okay. And now, since this only has 2 toughness left for the turn. I just dealt, whenever I use Prey Upon, each of those creatures fight. So, um, since it only has 2 toughness left, if I swung in right now for 8, he would block with both of these creatures and deal 2 total damage to me. So I'm not going to swing in. I'm going to go ahead and just play this Siege Worm. And I'm going to use this to Convoke. And I have a Siege Worm. So I have a 5/5. Now that 5/5 is still not as good as this. Notice it took me way longer to play that card than it did this. And this card is going to give me back this nifty removal spell every turn. So bam, nifty removal spell again. Now instead of preying upon and targeting my Charmbreaker Devils, I'm going to start prey upon and targeting this guy. The reason is because I don't want damage put on my Charmbreaker Devils. Now he sacrificed it, so it didn't do damage at all. So there will be no damage allocated onto this. Notice it still has 5 toughness left. And I'm going to go ahead and swing in. Swinging in for 13 total, which makes me happy. And he blocks. This doesn't have trample, so it doesn't trample over to his life total. And then I'm going to play the Pelicaworm. Now he counters. Okay, now this is the first time that we've seen a counter happen in our series. Counter target spell, what it does is it basically just cancels it out. And then this one says that whenever he casts he can cast a non-land card that shares a card type with the countered spell. So he countered a creature, so he can go ahead and put a creature into play because he countered that. And I guess he didn't have a creature in hand. Otherwise, I think he would have put it in play for free. Still targeting himself, still milling himself. Now, I don't think he had a creature in play or in his hand earlier, but if you look here at the Thought Scour, it allowed him to draw a card, and I believe he drew that creature. Otherwise, he probably should have just put it in play for free. Again, we're going to prey upon every single turn now, because we're getting it back over and over and over. And you see, sometimes you just have, you know, a card that's way more powerful, or a combination that's way more powerful than others. And this is what I was talking about in my first video of how good Charmbreaker Devils is. And we're just going to play this for, you know, for posture, for posterity. He's playing things that draw him cards and whatnot. This encounter, the Mad Scientist encounter, you know, is entirely, you know, gauged around decking himself. So he's just trying to deck himself. But it doesn't work if he doesn't have his kill cards in play. And, you know, we took out his kill cards real early. That's what these guys were. These guys would have let him win here in 6 more cards. We don't have to play any of these. Swinging for lethal. There we go. We're going to continue. Open us an Innistrad pack. Let's see a Charmbreaker Devil. No, but we did get another Elder of Laurels, which is cool. I like Elder of Laurels. The Howlgeist, again, is pretty good. I might put this in place of that worm. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll consider it. They're kind of equal in a way. The thing is this has Undying, so it comes back as a 5/3. And creatures with power less than that, less than 5, can't block it. And if I did that in combination with the Elder of Laurels and made that bigger, then that's just unblockable to the face, and that feels good. This card's cool. Fling. Sacrifice creature. And then it deals its damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to creature or player. So we're going to try and incorporate Fling into our deck here real quick. What could we take out? Well, what's very important is putting that other Elder of Laurels in play. So for the Elder of Laurels, let's see, go ahead and put that in. Let's go ahead. It is actually probably best to take out the equipment. I know I've been down talking this, but you know, we just need consistent creatures. Right now, let's see, we have 25 creatures. I guess I could shave a creature. And we were also talking about putting in Fling. Let's see. These are not great either, but they're still... We only have 7 turn 3 drops, so I don't want to get rid of him yet. And I actually kind of feel like this guy is a little stronger than this. Let's see. What else do we have? This card is very good, but it's contingent on having a lot of things in our graveyard, and right now we don't have a lot of things to put in our graveyard. Let's go ahead and remove this, and let's see. And do we want to put the Fling in yet? You know, I don't think so. I think once we get you know, more Advocate of the Beasts and more beasts, the Fling will be good, but as of right now, I don't think it is. I mean, like, it's okay, but it's just okay. I want to put good things in our deck, so let's keep going in Innistrad and trying to get this this Devils. And hardly any land. That's unacceptable. This is also an unacceptable hand. I could play this turn 1, this turn 2. I guess that would get a 2/2 into play every single turn. And then if I pulled a red, that would be strong. But if I don't, I'm totally screwed. You know what? And the name of this is Flights of Fear. So I know he has flyers. That's what this says. Can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Let's go ahead and just cycle out and get it. Oh, we did worse. Oh, we are hurting now. We probably should have kept that one hand. I am sad. This is pretty much a losing hand right now. We have a 1/2 beast that gets bigger with instants and sorceries, with no instants or sorceries in hand. And then this guy comes out on turn 5. I guess we have to wait and see. Play the waiting game. Alright, now we get another beast with no instants or sorceries. Let's attack in. Let's get ahead of the game by 1 point. It's not a big deal. Yeah, this moment of the segment is probably not very entertaining, but I mean, like, what can you do? There's really nothing going on here, guys. 3-1. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to be attacking in for 2, and then he won't block. That way he can hit me for 4. He ended up putting our red land in the graveyard, so we didn't get to play this guy. We are hurting. He only attacked for 3, not 4 this time. Probably because he's going to play another creature. And then he's going to try and dual block this guy. I think that's his plan. Here's how we're going to handle that, actually. I'm going to attack in with both. He'll probably dual block the 1. Oh, he doesn't. Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and shock this guy. And when I do that, it's going to give both those creatures +3/+0. And it will put me ahead on the game as far as life points and all that. He chose not to block, so I'm getting 8 to his face. Now, the only reason I think that he didn't block there is because he's the computer. Or maybe he wants to make this little milling thing happen. Sometimes the computer does really weird things that, you know, your average opponent won't do. Or your average player won't do, rather. What's this do? Alright. It has flying. And prevent all damage that would be dealt to and by it. I'm going to get this guy out. Maybe attacking every single turn while he has not a lot of creatures in play. I could attack for 1 here, but what he's going to do, he will dual block because it will deal 2 to my toughness, and then I'll only be able to deal 1 damage to one of these creatures. So really, I'm not getting ahead by doing that. I want to play instants or sorceries for value with the Killing Fiend. Now, him attacking in basically says that he has something to do. So he's going to be dropping something after this, because there's no reason to attack in when I have a 5/3. So he's prepared. He's going to Crippling Chill it. 2 Crippling Chills? Yeah, see. See, he had a plan. Play the Pitchburn Devils, that's all I can do. It's alright, we're at 15 life, this is not a big deal. I think this says I can't attack. Oh, prevent all damage that would be dealt by it. Okay, that was a little player's error on my part. I forgot that we had this aura attached to it, so I swung in, but no damage was dealt. Oh, he locked that down for another turn. So that's not going to untap again. And I'll be swinging for 4 next turn, unless he brings down something nasty. He's decking me, but he's only got me down to 41 cards, so that's not a big deal. Why did he just do that? I think he just did that to draw a card. Yeah, that's it. He just drew a card there. I'm going to swing in with both because I want the chance that he's going to block this. And if he blocks the 3/3, that's okay. If he takes 4 damage, I'm okay with that. Dropping this. Now, see, this is the one problem with what he did earlier. This creature, it prevents all damage that would be dealt to and by it. So his 3/1 there isn't getting through. So he's only hitting me for 2 per turn. Oh, he didn't even swing with it. So I'm blocking there. So he's hitting me for 1 per turn. I guess he's keeping the 3/1 as a blocker. Let's see what he's milled so far. Has he milled my Charm Breakers? Hasn't got my Charm Breaker Devils. Well, Now he is dropping just a bunch of stuff. Drawing cards, playing a bunch of stuff. Alright, so he's played everything out of his hand. Now with this Volcanic Geyser, if I can swing in and get 1 point of damage through, then he's dead. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swing, and ideally I'm going to wait till he blocks, and then I'm going to play the Volcanic Geyser, because it's going to pump the Killed Fiend, and I have a lot more control over what's getting ready to happen. So I'm swinging with everything, except for this thing, because it's not going to do any damage. Okay, so now I have options here. This is going to kill this anyway. This is going to kill this, and both of these will die. So I have a choice of Volcanic Geysering and hitting him in the face, or I can Volcanic Geyser this creature and save my beast, and it'll pretty much save everything except for this guy, which will put me ahead to kill him next turn. If I Volcanic Geyser his face, then I will have these two creatures right here. But if I Volcanic Geyser this, I'll have 3 creatures to his 2. So, or I can save the Volcanic Geyser, which I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to save Volcanic Geyser, and then that way if I draw 1 more land, then I can Volcanic Geyser his face and just call it a day. So that was probably the best plan. That puts me with 2 big creatures against his 2 little creatures. So that was the best plan. All right. Now, what did this say? Doesn't untap during its controller's untap spell. When an enchanted creature becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice Spectral Prison. Okay. So since I don't have enough land to kill him here with Volcanic Geyser, I'm going to go ahead and target this as a spell and get rid of one of his creatures. And usually I wouldn't go after a little 1/1. But he has no cards in hand, and that's just the correct play. Now, you know, I could have burnt his other creature out of the way, or I'm sorry, I could have burnt a creature out of the way or something like that. But you want to save the burn for the life total. Like you really want to hold back with things like this. Now I'm going to swing in with both creatures. He'll only be able to block 1. And then whatever he doesn't block will go through. So 3 from the Hunt Beast will go through. And then now I'm going to go ahead and use that Volcanic Geyser for 2. Players his face. And there we go, game over. Let's continue and see what we got out of our booster. Another Prey Upon, another Fling. Prey Upon's good. We don't want too many yet until our creatures get better. Another Fling. Let's see, another Howlgeist. Blood Feud is not that great. I mean, it's generally only going to take out 1 creature. Like the ideal situation is if your opponent has 2 5/5s out, you can force both those creatures to fight each other and it will kill 2 5/5s. But if one is a 4/4 and one's a 5/5, you'll have done, and they deal damage to each other, the 5/5 will kill the 4/4, but the 4/4 won't kill the 5/5. So this card only takes out 1 creature. Now if we play intelligently, a Prey Upon can take out 1 creature for 1 mana. So why spend 6 and have to force ourselves? If you all decided to play white, Mentor the Meek is pretty much the strongest card. That with Seraph of the Masses. So we don't have anything to put into our deck yet. We're going to continue playing. In the next video, we're going to keep going through Innistrad until we get a hold of our Charmbreaker Devils and make a pretty strong deck, and then we're going to continue on, into our other planes. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.